I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
Now, you know I said last week that there's absolutely no hurry for me to get a new car.
You did say that, I believe. Yes, you said something about taking your time and getting it right. Yes.
Yeah, no hurry, none of this. Even though there might have been a little bit of car browsing and possibly even a conversation with said dealer of a car.
To be fair, browsing adverts is not unusual. We do that all the time anyway.
No, but initiating conversations, that's a whole new step. So
that's taking it a whole new level, yes.
Yeah, last week we do recall there was a Subaru Legacy.
There was, and we were very excited about it.
We were excited about it, and don't get me wrong, it's a wonderful thing. I had the conversation. So we recorded the Thursday in the evening, and I had the conversation Friday lunchtime.
Yep.
The conversation began in the sense of going, right, the guy said, look, I'm more than happy to talk you through it. He said, I do have someone who's about to go for it.
Pull the trigger.
all of that, yes. Fortunately, he didn't say that because I would have had to put the phone down immediately.
That would have been the end of any relationship with that particular dealership.
Yes. Fortunately, he did not say pull the trigger.
No matter how nice their cars were, I cannot deal with him.
Yeah. I want no part of it. No. He's the person I dealt with is a very nice and well-rounded human being.
Oh, good.
So that's good. So yes, so I had the conversation about the Subaru, despite it being potentially earmarked, and ultimately by the end of that day, fully earmarked. Just for clarity.
Right. Okay. You got it in that interim period where it could have gone either way.
Yeah, could have gone either way. So the basic gist of that was they talked me through the car itself, and it was as described and as it presented itself. Like, yeah, it is that good. However, there were bits and pieces to do more with the operating costs of the vehicle that once you start to engage your brain, you go, oh, this is expensive.
It may not be pricey.
It's really not too bad to buy, but to go, right, I'm going out in it today. Oh, look, this is how much I've dented my wallet by going out once.
This is the problem. I mean, I know you said last week that you would be prepared to spend a little bit more on the running costs because clearly they're going to be a bit higher in order to have a car like that. But there is a limit, isn't there?
Yeah. Big numbers on tax, big numbers on insurance.
Yeah.
And small numbers on MPG.
Yeah, that's a bad combination.
I mean, they were very honest and said, look, if you look online, they'll be publishing, they'll say if you look at the sort of reviews at the time when it was new, they'll be quoting mid-20s, low 30s at a push, depending on where you read, sort of an MPG, sort of an average MPG.
Yeah.
Whereas in reality, like you go, right, well, round town, you're going to be mid to high teens, and on a run, mid-20s.
Yeah.
Quite tuned in terms of engine, so would really prefer Super as well.
Oh, so really churns through the really expensive stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, even if it hadn't been sort of partly reserved or on the way to being reserved, that would have had to have been a no, I think.
It slowed you down a bit, didn't it?
I mean, it didn't just slow me down. It really stopped me in my tracks of going, oh, dearie me. Like, say, for example, I were to buy the car and spread the costs out over a set amount of time.
Yep.
So, like the purchase price, I mean.
Yes.
So say I won't go into specific figures, but I'll give you an example. Yeah. So say I split the cost of the car purchase over, say, 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
That wasn't what I was intending to do, by the way, but this illustrates the running costs issue.
Yeah.
If you then take the that monthly payment amount to cover the car purchase and then you went, right, okay, so if I take my tax, my insurance, and my petrol, and I turn that into a monthly figure as well, that monthly figure was greater than the figure for the purchase price.
Ooh.
Over the same time period. You go,
well, yeah, that's not ideal. It's that old thing, isn't it? Just because you can afford to buy it doesn't mean you can afford to run it. And there's lots of cars like that.
Yeah, and that really hit home.
Yeah.
And
you just thought to yourself, I can't do that.
No,
can't do that.
I appreciate some advice from Chris on that. He's had a few Subarus and years gone by, and he said about, EJ20 engine that will drink fuel.
Yeah. So that coupled with the insurance and the tax, and it's just not going to happen.
No, yeah. If it did happen, it would have had to have been quite short lived.
Yes, scratch that itch and then move it on again. Yeah.
However, it's like by the time the guy I spoke to was so honest about it, and I was like, well, it's like you're meant to be selling it to me, and you failed miserably.
Yes, you're supposed to stitch me up at this point.
But no, it's fine. However, other conversations occurred with the same vendor.
Yes.
And I sort of explained my requirements or my wants, really, and said that I want after a painful, probably 18 to 24 months of dealing with cars that are in various states of repair and might work when I need them. I said, I really like a reliable car. And I went, right, okay. But I want it to be fun. I want it to not be ruinous on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And I want something a bit different. And they're like, okay, right, okay. So I can work with that. That's good.
Yeah. Remarkably sensible criteria, actually.
Well, it is, isn't it? But what the other thing? Sorry, one thing I missed. I said, look, we got to the point now where I've had the conversation several times indoors and going, we don't necessarily need the big car. We don't need a direct Volvo replacement.
Yeah.
When the Volvo was purchased, a worrying amount of time ago now.
Yes, you've had it a long time, haven't you?
Yeah. We worked it out. It was August 2013. I bought that.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah. But the requirements then are very different to the requirements now.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah, because at the time of purchase of the Volvo, Kaylee was what we this August would have been between 6 and 7 months pregnant.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact date I bought it. So, and already had 2 kids, so the paraphernalia was immense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes.
However, there were 3 seats in the back and a cavernous boot, so that's fine.
Perfect.
Whereas now, let's say the eldest child wouldn't want to be seen dead with us. So that's 1 seat freed up in the car.
Yeah.
The middle one is heading in that direction.
Yep.
And youngest is quite small, so not an issue. I'm not saying he's ridiculously young. What is he now? He's 10, but he's quite a short ass.
Let's
be fair.
Yeah, not a big lad.
No, not at
No.
all. So, in terms of transporting the clan, that was nowhere near the top of the list, or if it even made the list at all for this particular car.
Yeah, you can't have a two-seater sports car, but nor do you need a thumping great estate car like the Volvo. No.
So that was also sort of specified. Right, I don't need a lot of room. And we said, look, Kaylee and I said, look, if we go, say, for example, I can't remember if I said last week or at some point recently, and like those rare occasions where the five of us have to travel somewhere are so rare these days. And it's more often than not, I go, right, well, it's like we're going on holiday or something like that. And
yes,
like after the last time where we'd booked our flight, we'd paid the parking, and I stayed up because we had to leave the house at about 1 a.m. And I'm like, so what is this? Is just a ball ache. I was just going, right, by the time I've put diesel in the car to get there and back, paid for 2 weeks parking, and I could have just booked one of those personal shuttle things. It's the same
airport shuttle. That's absolutely. That's what I would do. That's what I did when I went to America. I used the airport shuttle. It takes all the fuss out of it. They
door-to-door
take your bags door to door. Yeah, just do that. It's not worth taking your car and leaving it at the airport. It really isn't. It's so expensive now.
And it's ridiculous. The drive there wasn't too bad. I mean, like you said, because it was 1 o'clock, and I said to Kaylee, look, I'll drive. I don't care. I said, she's like, you're going to go to bed. It's like, it's pointless. I will not.
There is no point. You will feel worse if you try and do that. You'll get a couple of hours sleep, and then you'll feel like death. You're much better off staying up. Yes, I agree.
No, so it was fine. So all I did was we only go to Bristol Airport. So yeah, we set off an hour and 3/4 at tops to get there. Got in, got a half decent parking spot, got all the kids and everything in the terminal, whiskey and coke, all done. It's fine.
Right into it.
Yeah. It's like, I'm on an holiday now. I'm not flying the plane. It's fine.
No.
Yeah.
I would not be required to operate another vehicle for quite some time.
No, that's it. I don't need to operate a vehicle for another 2 weeks, so I'm on it from now until we get back.
Perfect. Yes.
So yes, we digress. But yes, we illustrate that there isn't the need for the big vehicle. And
when we all went to the fireworks back in November, you lot turned up in 2 vehicles.
We did.
You didn't arrive together. So
did we? Oh no, didn't we? We had. I think Alex brought a friend, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Oh, that was it. Yes, because that would have made it 6. So it kind of made it.
Yes.
We said actually, considering that car park, we'll bring. Not only do we need to take 2 cars, but we might as well take the 2 smaller ones available.
Yeah, it was not an easy car park that for those of us with a larger vehicle. No.
But there we go. That's fine. So
I had to, if you recall, I had to reject the first space that was offered to me.
Yes,
it was. Give me another one.
It was a little tight. Yes, you were quite right to reject that one. Okay. It won't go in there, mate.
You need to put me somewhere else. I am blocking the road.
Well, it's perfect for your getaway, but not so perfect for anyone else involved.
No, quite.
Well,
Look at the vehicle before you suggest a space. Anyway, I digress.
It's fine. It's fine. We all learn from this. It's not a problem. So, so those conversations I've had, and then I passed all of this information on to the guy I was talking to at this particular dealer, and came up with an alternative suggestion. That's the best way to put it.
It was a vehicle you had.
I had seen it.
Yes. Obviously, because you've been right through their website with a fine-tooth comb.
Obviously, yes. You else? I'd even shown you the car.
Yeah, you had. I knew it was on your radar. Yeah.
So, and then after all that criteria was specified to him, he suggested the same car back at me. They had 2 of them. They had 2 of them on their site. He showed me both, and I dismissed one immediately. We all know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Had black wheels.
It's not going away, is it? It's not going away. No.
I'm a man of principles. So we had quite a lengthy conversation about it on the Friday. Several, actually. And I asked some questions. There was some back and forth, and he said a few of them he was able to answer there and then went away to get some other bits of information, some other photographs, showed me some of the documentation, although it was nice of him to show me. However, it'll become apparent why it wasn't quite as helpful as it could have been, but that's not the
I think I can guess.
Yeah, it's not the documentation's fault. And then I said, right, okay, that's great. Do you mind if I go off and have the conversations indoors? He said, yeah, no.
You'll be used to that. Yeah,
of course it will. Yeah, it's probably a catchphrase he's used to hearing.
Yeah.
So off I went for the conversations, and Kaylee was like, well, if you want to buy it. Very good. Thank you for your support.
Excellent. That was the correct answer.
We've been green lit. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Awful, isn't it?
Stop it.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
Oh, we never get bored of it. So that very evening, I messaged him back. Knowing full well they're very strict about their work hours. They don't work past 5, and for sales they're not working at the weekend.
Okay,
just is what it is. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So I sent a couple of messages off, and then on the Friday I went, right, on Monday could you give me a shout, please? And
I will try and have a decision for you.
Yeah. And my decision was done as soon as I had the okay. I sorted out the bits and bobs that I needed to sort, and he called me back lunchtime, and I very much pulled the trigger.
You did, didn't you?
I did. So managed to get sort of at least 15 minutes into this without actually telling anyone what it is.
What it is yet? Yes, because I don't think we've talked about it on here.
No. You and I have had conversations away from here, but not. Yes. It wasn't suggested at all on here. Despite me having looked at it, I'd seen it the week we were recording, not necessarily the day, because it's a website I go to quite a lot.
Yes. It's one of your happy places.
It is. So as of now, I have paid my deposit to secure the vehicle, or in this case, probably best to say reserve the vehicle.
Yes, you do still have the option of backing out.
Yes. We could probably we could go through a little bit more detail, couldn't we? Actually, before I do the full reveal.
Please do.
So the gist of it is it's a freshly imported Japanese car.
Yes.
It is not UK registered. So the way they work, it's from a specialist who does. This is their day job, importing Japanese cars and selling them and servicing them and getting Japanese parts and all that. It's their thing.
Yep.
So the way they work is that when they import a car, they prep the mechanicals, then present it for sale. Then when someone wants it or has reserved it by putting a deposit on it, they begin the UK registration process. Then you get what they call a collection day. But as part of the collection day, you get your extended test drive where you get to say yes or no. So if it's a yes, you pay your balance. If it's a no, you get your deposit back. So
can't say fairer than that, really.
No, it seems
it's a good deal.
seems like a really quite nice way of dealing with it. So
Yeah.
that's at the point I'm at. I have paid my deposit, and they've already begun the process of the registration. Now that someone actually wants it as well, they are going through a couple of the other bits and pieces. So speedo conversion, swapping it stereo for a UK one. I requested new battery, which they're doing, and being a Japanese car, they are undersealing it as well.
Yes, because it will be free of the rot, won't it? So
it will
that's
be
good. Yeah.
So yeah, they're they're doing that because obviously in the Japanese market that will not be done because that's not the way they operate over there.
They do not salt their roads.
Yes, well, we do.
We very much do.
Very much do. And I have seen they have sent me photos of the underside. And I would very much like it undersealed because it is in pristine condition underneath. I'd like it to remain that way, please.
Like, try and keep it that way if at all possible. Yes.
Because this will be my daily car.
Yes, indeed.
So yes, we're still waiting on the collection date because we're essentially at the moment we're at the mercy of the DVLA. So.
Yeah, and that takes as long as it takes, really, doesn't
Unfortunately, that does. They sort of estimate. They basically said conservatively 3 to 4 weeks. He said, but it's kind of finger in the air.
Yeah, quite.
So the only other thing to do upon registration is they said we will then send it off for MOT.
Yep.
And they said when you receive the car, not only do you get a fresh MOT, we will guarantee that it's squeaky clean, no advisories.
Oh, lovely.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can stall about, or do you think that's probably about it?
Colour? Any of the mods?
Oh, it feels a bit mean, doesn't it?
Does a little bit.
Yeah.
You should perhaps put our dear listener out of their misery.
Probably, yeah. Okay, so I have bought a tastefully modified, shall we say?
You can say that if you like, yeah.
Well, I think it's tastefully done.
Yeah.
Some of the bits are, I suppose, maybe you could argue some of it's a little bit brash and some of it's a bit midlife crisis, but fuck it, it's my car.
You've already been told this is your midlife crisis anyway.
Yeah, so that's been highlighted. Yes. Yes, I've bought a tastefully modified 2011 Honda CRZ.
You have your little tinker. Now that's probably a vehicle that maybe not everybody knows what it is.
I suppose they're not commonplace. We did get them over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not run of the mill.
No, not at all. They are very Japanese. I think
very so. Yeah, that's that sort of. I want something a bit different, and it certainly fulfills that bit of the criteria.
You're not going to be. You're probably quite often going to be the only one in the car park. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Ford Focus, it is not.
No, it is not. So, just a hint of clarity then. Just in general, the Honda CRZ was early 2010s to mids in terms of its lifespan, and it's I can be smug because a part of me is saving the planet. So because it's hybrid.
It is a hybrid.
It's a sort of small, sporty coupe hybrid. It's an odd one, isn't it?
It is an odd one. It's difficult to know what category to place it in, really. Is it a 3-door hatch? Is it a coupe?
That's the thing, because Chris is aware of the purchase, and he and I were playing the guessing game over WhatsApp, and he asked the question of is it a hatchback, and I was like, kind of depends who you ask, really.
Yes.
But I suppose in terms of its lineage, you could probably sort of trace it back through the Honda CRX in terms of its presentation, but the Honda Insight in terms of its drivetrain. Ish.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yes, because the Insight was where the hybrid tech comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And we know someone who's got one of those.
We do.
So yeah, that's probably fair. I was just looking it up actually to see what sort of it is generally described as. And it seems that coupe is the word. A sort of sports coupe seems to be the general consensus. So yeah, we'll go with that, shall we?
So in terms of what it is underneath, is it's a 1.5 litre petrol, and that's mated to a hybrid system. So yes. It's got, hang on, let me get this bit right. Hang on, I'm skimming. So it's that's it. It's the IMA, integrated motor assist.
Mm-hmm.
So what it does is, correct if I'm wrong. So it's about it's not groundbreaking in terms of what it offers, but it's the motor will give you an additional roughly 13 to 15 horsepower, but everyone said it's a wonderful little boost, and I drove one years ago, just after they came out, but right. I couldn't put a spin on it to say, yeah, this is a practical car, because when they came out, I was I had company cars at the time, and it was a contender because it was the right sort of money.
Yeah.
So it's but yeah, like I said, I couldn't put enough of a spin on it, so
no, you couldn't make that fly.
It never became a thing. So yeah, I think this is going to be quite an interesting one. It's not, and like I was saying to you, this isn't a car where I can go full EV. It is very much an assist.
Yes, the hybrid doesn't actually drive the wheels, does it? It doesn't work the way a modern hybrid does. You can't run it purely on electric.
No, exactly.
It's an assist, as you say, to the petrol engine. You're right. I was just looking it up where you were saying the hybrid system comes from the first generation Insight, but also apparently the Honda Fit.
Yes, I'm not sure we got that one.
No, we didn't. But it is another car that the tech was used in. And as you say, its predecessor was the Honda CRX. And the first generation Insight, so that's very much where it comes from. Yeah, but obviously more practical than the Insight and a little bit bigger.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting that in terms of the system, I believe now need to double check. See, I've read this and now I'm questioning myself, but the oh dear, hang on, I was just trying to go to a website to back my theory up. Yes, so I am right. I'm doubting myself. So the motor itself is mounted between the engine and the gearbox.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
So the boost is there. So it's
there. Yes, okay. Yeah,
it's a bit different, but because it's an assist and not a drive, that's why that's a thing.
Yes, it's not the same as a modern hybrid, if you like, would be. You were right on your dates, though. Launched in January 2010 at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit, was where it was unveiled.
It's interesting. It chose there to unveil.
Yeah, launched in America.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. And yes, was an immediate hit with the press. It says here.
Well, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, front wheel drive, and gasoline hybrid, as they called it. 6-speed manual. Lovely.
Yeah, that's worth
noting.
Worth noting, actually, because it was available with CVT. I do not have that. I have the 6-speed manual.
I see that here, yes, but the 6-speed manual was by far the most popular.
Yeah.
So yes, there you go.
And I do recall from driving it back then, and I've read since as well, going, probably one of the best gear changes known to man.
Oh, very good.
It's like, yeah, I do remember it being quite pleasing. So, be interested to see if that still lives up to what I remember and what people are saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just reading here about its launch, within 1 month of them opening the order books, they had received 10,000 orders.
Really?
Yeah. Which exceeded their sales forecast. It was more than they expected. They didn't expect it to be that high a volume car.
And yeah, like you say, you really don't see them.
By the end of August that year, they had delivered more than 19,000 cars.
Interesting.
Which was 3 times higher than they had predicted.
Blimey.
Yeah. So there you go. It was a surprise success for Honda.
Yeah, and well, I can see why. Well, I bought one, so obviously I can see why. But
well, obviously it's popular with you, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I did mention modifications, didn't I?
You said it had some tasteful modifications, yes.
Yeah, let's
say that.
Well, I like them. Again, bollocks to what anyone else thinks.
Let's find it. Absolutely, quite right. You want a big spoiler, and I want black wheels. Then why not? It's your money.
That's it. So right, just for clarity, I do not have black wheels.
It doesn't. It has silver wheels.
It has silver wheels, right? But you did bring up the topic of spoiler. It does.
I did briefly mention that. Then yes.
It's not enormous, but it does have one.
It does.
And just for clarity, it's the genuine Mugen spoiler. There are plenty of copies out there, but that's the real thing.
It's a real one. Very good.
That's
what you want. It's what you want. Yeah.
So
I think I referred to it as the handle the other day. I do apologise.
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, if I want my midlife crisis, I'll bloody well have it. Thank you.
Oh, you have your big old spoiler there. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be the first to defend you.
Well, it's got a set, and I apologise for the pronunciation, but I think it's right. It's got Tein, which is Tein, Flex Z coilovers, a set of those on it.
Okay, nice.
That is part of the prep that has been done on the car. Those are new.
It's not slammed though, is it?
No, slightly lower. It can be
too
adjusted. That can be adjusted, but where it's at the moment, I like the look of it, and just need to gauge it from how it drives, obviously, to see whether there's any tweaks involved. But as it currently looks, I do like that. It's so, like I said, that is a brand new modification. That is something that they've done as part of the prep for the car, not the specifically I've asked for. They've brought the car in. It had the spoiler and the wheels, and they went, "I'll tell you what, let's tweak."
Slammed and rimmed, Joe.
Well, quite. So they've taken it upon themselves to go, right, well, actually, it's had a couple of little tweaks. Let's do a couple more before it goes on sale.
Just a couple more. So it didn't come like that. They've done that since they've had it.
So it came with the spoiler and the wheels. They've done the suspension and the exhaust.
Nice.
So it's got Fujitsubo exhaust on it as well.
Stainless steel?
I believe so, yes. So let me hang on. I might be. Let me just double check my emails because I've got more details on it. I gave you exactly what the suspension is, but I didn't have the exhaust information to hand. So do bear with. There's going to be a man typing and trying to fill the void with words.
You should be getting good at this, but
yeah, you think, well,
frantically researching something that we should have prepared before we started. That's kind of become our
doing
thing.
glorious work. Just wonderful, excellent work. Yes. So it's the Fujitsu AR exhaust system. So it is fully stainless steel. Yeah. So it's
Lovely.
got so it's a 2-inch diameter pipe, and it's basically, they've said that on startup it's a bit brash, but as soon as it calms down, very tasteful.
All sorted. Lovely.
And I won't go into the specifics. That and the suspension are not insignificant in price.
No, I'm sure they're not. No. It does look quite. Yes, I'm just looking at the actual pictures of it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's quite a pea shooter you've got there.
Yes, thank you very much. So yes,
18-inch wheels.
No,
They look like 18s.
no, 16s.
Oh, 16s, blimey.
Yeah.
Okay, they're a bit bigger than that. Oh, very good.
They're 195/55 16s in terms of tyres. There you go. Now I've got the specifics for you.
Very good.
So yeah, very understated, but it's not a big car, so you don't really need much. I mean, they don't look silly
look
on
fine.
16.
They look perfect. If you put anything bigger on that, I think it would start to look daft, to be honest.
Yeah, I think, I mean, a real push with the right wheel, you could probably go to 17, but yeah, that's...
Yeah, any more than that, it's gonna start to look ridiculous. You've got to be very careful with that sort of thing. Yeah.
So
very good, very good. And it is a red, as I believe I mentioned earlier.
Yes, it is a Milano red.
Yes.
So
of course. Yes, I knew you'd have the right name.
Oh yeah, no messing around. But yeah, really, it's nice. It's got good in history. I mean, the Japanese history is a bit different to the way we do history, but it's the paperwork is not in English.
Yes, hence your problem checking it.
That's what I meant. But he also said that certain things, they love a sticker to detail what's happened. So in and around the car, there are stickers to say what's been done and when. Way more than we would do in this country.
Yeah, you're lucky to get a bit of paper in this country.
So said, and he said it's got all of that too, and I've seen the document, so the photos of that to go with the documentation. So,
nice.
And it's squeaky clean inside.
I'm just looking at interior picture, fabric rather than leather, but that's good.
That's preferable, to be honest.
Very non-original looking touchscreen on the center dash, but they're replacing that for you, aren't they? So
yes, they are.
Yes.
They've whipped out, because it's quite, from what I've seen, it's quite commonplace, and it's quite good that it's been done, because the original is very much it's part of the car, and it's like it's
right, integrated into the systems.
And it's like, oh dear, it's a ball ache. So the fact that someone's already done it, but yes, the one that you're seeing in the picture is not the one it's going to come with, because that's very much Japanese. And he did ask what my Japanese was like, and I was like, can you? I'm going to need a UK stereo if that's right. Yep, no worries. I'll put one of those in for you.
Anything with Japanese on it, I'm not going to know how to work it.
No, he said it's fine. He said standard thing we do for most people.
Of course, they must do that on nearly everything, I'd have thought. Yeah.
Yeah. He said occasionally you get someone who'll go, oh, do I get a bit of money off if you don't do it? It's like, well, but you're still going to have to do it. And so
might as well have them do it properly.
Just for the sake of it, like, well, they're offering to do it with what we've agreed on money. Like, why are we not doing this?
Just have them do it. It's not worth it. While they've got it, they're doing stuff to it anyway.
was going to say this is their thing.
Why faff about? The engine bay looks squeaky clean.
Yeah, they said that it's. I mean, they go over it with a fine tooth comb. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
But they said they don't tend to buy rough ones in the first place because there's more work. More work for them means less profit for them. So they tend, when they're at the auctions, they only buy the ones that are just right.
That look right. Yes. Oh, very good.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
You've bought something proper interesting there.
Well, yeah, I think it's just gone, well, you know what, bollocks to it. I haven't bought a car in over 10 years.
That's true. The Stuff and Waffle fleet is coming along nicely at the moment.
It's had a bit of a switch up there, isn't it? Because we started with a Volvo and a Tesla. Then we had, strictly speaking, the only thing we had was a Volvo for quite a period of time.
Quite some time, which we were passing between us. It's quite pathetic, really.
Yeah. If we're getting into specifics of going, right, cars that actually have our name on the V5, we had a Volvo between us for quite some time. And you bought a Jag. 1 week I sold a Volvo, the next week I bought a new car. That's how we do that.
That is how we do that. Yeah. You see, nothing, all at once.
Yeah, no messing around. So, yes,
very good. We're looking forward to the arrival of that.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, there might be a bit of padding between episodes of going, oh bloody hell, it's not here yet.
You may have to wait a little bit yet. Yes, the administration wheels must be turned, unfortunately. Yes.
But yes, on the face of it, I'm very pleased with it. So
I think you've that's a good find. I think that looks like a solid buy.
I think so. I mean, they're, like I said, you can buy them here. I can buy a UK one, but
yeah,
it's that silly bit of me going, right, well, actually, I could save a few £1,000s and buy a UK one, but actually, what the modifications that they've done are something that that childish bit of me goes, yeah, I want that.
Yeah,
now.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, you like one that's just a little bit special.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, I've just done an Auto Trader search actually, and yes, you could get one for less.
Yeah.
But
for the value of the modifications that have been done to it, if I subtract that from the car and then I do the comparison and go, yeah, all right. The fact that I'm basically, if I work out my maths on it, the difference in price is, from what I've calculated, is purely, or give or take some pounds, the price of the parts.
Right. Yeah. So if you were to buy one here and try and turn it into that one, you'd probably end up spending about the same.
Spoiler, for instance, I've found countless copies online.
Oh, always.
Countless. Yes. They're not insignificant in price, as in sort of low hundreds, should we say.
Okay. Yeah. But it all adds up.
I cannot, for the life of me, find one that's easily accessible and has a documented price of a genuine Mugen one in red.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? If you found one, you'd probably have to have it painted as well, and that's more money.
Apparently, I can still go to Mugen and get the parts. They don't quite the price, but they're more than willing for me to contact them.
It's not going to be cheap, is it?
So, and what's interesting is that they sell all the other body parts as well.
Oh, isn't that handy?
That's useful, isn't it? I mean, I am not acquired to those prices, but it's worth knowing. Let's go with that.
Should there be a Bumpington, you would be able to get it fixed. Yes.
Well, or it's more the case of if I were to sort of upgrade some of the more standard body parts.
Oh, that too. Yeah,
that's where I was going.
Well, I was thinking the Bumpington might give you the justification for replacing said parts.
I'll try and avoid bumping it. Let's go with that.
I think that's probably best. Yeah. I mean, there's quite a few on old Auto Trader here, but yeah, none quite like that one.
No, you see, that's the problem, isn't it? And you look at it and go, I've browsed Auto Trader, I've browsed Pistneds, I've had a good old look round, and all the ones that are available in the UK are a bit boring.
Well, they are. They're all a bit kind of boggo, aren't they? They're all a bit basic.
They're all very much, I'll buy it in a colour that's easy to sell on. And
lots of greys and whites and things like that.
Greys, whites.
I don't think I've seen another red one.
No, and I mean, I don't strictly mind the standard wheels, but they're not exciting. These are very much
not at all.
Japanese. And yeah, I just think, bollocks to it. Time to
there's none quite like that one.
To be a bit silly.
There are some more expensive than that one, but that are not as good, in my opinion.
Yes, I think I know the one you mean. Is it that dark grey one?
I've lost it now. Hang on, it was right at the end of my search. Was it dark grey? I think it was, yeah. Is it dark grey or black? This one I think is black. And they want a lot more for it. So
yes, quite. So,
it is a bit newer. It is a bit newer, but yeah, nevertheless. I think you've done very well there. You're buying it from a dealer who knows what they're doing, and showed that they're trustworthy by turning you off of the Subaru rather than, talking its shortcomings down and trying to get you to buy it anyway, which, does happen.
Yeah. And that's what's been nice about it. They've been really nice to deal with, and there's been no hard sell at all.
No, absolutely.
And couldn't do enough in terms of me asking stupid questions.
Yeah, but, the sort of cars they sell are not the sort of cars that a lot of people are going to know inside out. So, I mean, admittedly, their clientele probably have a bit more idea of what they're looking at, but they're probably used to having to take people through it a bit more.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's that the fact that they've been helpful and easy to deal with and readily available means that when that time of year comes around for servicing, let's go, well, they can have it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not local, but they're not that far away, are they? So...
No, I discussed it with them and said, look, if I want to, they said, we offer an array of servicing levels depending on what you want. But they said, look, what we don't do is we don't turn them around quickly. So it said, if you bring it to us for service and MOT, we'll have it for 2 to 3 days. He said, we'll give you a car. I said, don't worry about that. He said, unfortunately, it won't be anything exciting from the showroom, but we will give you a car.
Well, fair enough.
But that's all. He said, that's all part of it. He said, that's not an issue at all.
Very good. So you could whiz it down there and get yourself home again and swap it back a few days later. Yeah, that can work. Yeah. Very good. I think you've done very well there.
And I tell you what's interesting, of the people who've been told, there is a queue forming to drive it.
I didn't mention that because I assume it was implied.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Well, when I do the admin, you'll inadvertently be transferred onto it anyway, because you're already on my insurance. So
I'm already on your insurance. Yes, indeed, much as you were when I bought the Jag. So yes, very good, very good. And you still need to have a drive of that. We haven't done that yet. We need to sort that out.
Well, we said you were finishing some of the little fiddly jobs, and we said as soon as you'd done that, we'd tick it off then, didn't we?
That's true, yes.
So
well, let's perhaps we'll get the service and MOT out of the way, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, because I'm hoping, because you're a couple of weeks off from that.
Yes.
It'd be nice if that sort of coincided, wouldn't it?
Well, it would really, wouldn't it? Yes. Yes, and we could, maybe do some photos and things so people can observe the Stuff and Waffle fleet.
Oh, there will be photos. Don't worry. Well, I do have photos of the car now. Do you know what? I'm gonna wait. Not gonna put them up just yet.
Don't put dealer photos up. No, wait until you've got it. And
Yeah.
Make it a bit more personal. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
I think it suits you, actually. It suits you. It's your kind of car.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I don't know.
No, I'll let you think about that one.
Yes, well, we'll see. But yeah, there you go. It's
small and oddly shaped.
yeah, bang on. But no, I'm very pleased with my purchase.
I think you've done very well there.
Even though I haven't driven it yet.
Even though you haven't even driven it yet. No, but you do get the opportunity to back out if you hate it when you drive.
I do, and the fact that I have driven one, that's a start.
You have driven one before, yeah, exactly.
Granted, more than 10 years ago, and completely bog standard, and whereas this is very much tweaked, so it's going to feel a bit different.
The chances of you hating it are quite slim, I think.
It's going to be interesting because one thing that I do like about it, that I do recall from the time I drove it, and as part of research, sort of confirmed what I remembered. It does have the driving modes on it, and what's quite nice is in the sport mode, it really sort of weights up the steering as well.
Right. Okay.
Something I really liked about it when I drove it.
Yeah. That is cool.
So yes, it does have sport, normal, and eco. So yeah, I think we all know which one it's going to live in. But there we go.
Oh, absolutely. You just love a bit of eco.
That's right. Yeah. Well, the thing is,
hypermiling all over the place. You will.
It's just that's the glory of it. I don't need to really worry about that.
No, that is true. Yeah,
it's not going to be ruinous if we go back to running costs. It's got bugger all, really.
You're certainly in a very different place to the Subaru, yeah. And I imagine the insurance is substantially less because that's not the sort of car that gets stolen and wrecked. Whereas the Subaru.
Yeah, I mean, the insurance, from what I've quoted, I've spoken to a few people and discussed what it is. Obviously, not being registered yet, it can't get the full details, but I've explained it exactly what it is, exactly what the modifications are as well, because I don't want to be caught out with that on insurance.
No, absolutely. Tell them everything. Yes.
So yeah, it's so that obviously bumps it up. I mean, and the fact that it's an import. What was interesting is when I was doing the pricing up of it, I was thinking, it's going to be. It's the mods that make it the insurance more expensive rather than the import bit. But it's still not ridiculous at all.
I imagine if it was a car that had never been sold here, the premium would be even higher because of parts availability. But it was sold here, so that's fine.
So yeah, it comes out an acceptable amount. I mean, it's like if we take the Volvo for example, it's in terms of percentage, I think it's 40% more than what I'd be paying on the Volvo, but it's a very different kettle of fish.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
but it swings and roundabouts. Tax for the Volvo is quite high. Tax for this, no, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, granted though, it's not. I don't get the uber cheap tax price because it's an import. I do have to pay a bit more than I would if it was a UK car on tax.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Which is a bit of a weird one. It's just to do with classification. Like if it was here, it's purely sort of age combined with grams per kilometre, whereas import there's a kind of category that it sits in, which is a bit different.
Okay.
So it's done slightly differently, but it's still. I've spoken to the guys about it, and they said, it will come out at we think roughly this price. And I was like, that's fine. I'm not. That's what I'm paying now is like ridiculous. So yeah, that's fine.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, very good. Well, I mean, you've ticked all the boxes there, haven't you, really? You've been remarkably sensible.
Yeah, but I think I've had fun along the way.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not convinced that was where I was going to end up, but it was like, actually, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, we both sort of set out to buy something and then bought something a bit different. So maybe that's okay.
Yeah, that's it. I've ended up with a little hybrid coupe, which actually, one thing we didn't note, in the grand scheme of things of modern cars, weighs bugger all.
Oh, well, of course. Yeah. I mean, it is only a little thing.
Yeah, so in terms of what we're thinking, about 1,100 kilos.
Right. Yeah, that's that's
so, all right, not big power, but not big weight either. So, I think, yeah.
No, that's good. You can have enormous fun in that, I reckon.
That's the thing. That's what I think. I'm gonna come out smiling. There's a lot to be said for that.
Well, it's the thing, isn't it? With a lower powered, lighter car like that, you can sort of push the limits a lot. You can get to the limits a lot more easily than you could with a heavier, more powerful car. So you can have fun more often.
Yeah, I think a very good way of putting it. Yes. Well,
there you go.
So there you go. We've gone from sort of never having our own car updates to lots of car updates about things breaking or fixing or selling or buying, and yeah, there we go. We've who knew?
Done it again.
We've done it again. You bought one, now I've bought one.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know how many episodes we're gonna have to drag it out. I tell you what though, before we do finish, next week will be a bit of a different one. Because
it's our anniversary.
Yeah, it's roughly our anniversary. Yeah, so by the time the following episode comes out, that'll have just probably ticked over by 6, maybe 7 days, give or take.
It's as close as we're going to get, isn't it?
Awfully close to the 3
year. We'll just be into our 4th year.
Yes, exactly that, which is mad.
How on earth has that happened?
So, yes, there will be an anniversary special of some sort. It is being arranged by someone else, so you and I don't really know what's going to be happening.
We don't know quite what we're going to be talking about. But something car-related, but other than that, we have no clue.
There will be an episode. It would involve cars. But we've got nothing else. I'm afraid we are.
No, we are not in charge of it.
That's it. We are specifically in the dark as well. I think it's to prevent any sort of
we're not supposed to know. Yeah, we're not supposed to know at this stage.
So you'll find out roughly when we find out. So enjoy that. But yes, there we go. We'll leave this week, our pre-anniversary, as another car has been purchased.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.